Good morning, everyone. If you'll please stand and sing our One Light song. It's the light that shines inside of me. Great job. And so humble. Okay, let's center and do our prayer for inner peace. Let us come together in prayer, friends. We take this time in prayer to become centered. We use our gifts of imagination and creativity to turn away from our outer concerns and circumstances and turn within to the inner sanctuary of pure love. We immerse ourselves in the power of the all-encompassing, unconditional love where there are no expectations and no reservations. Nothing can diminish the power of divine love. We live, love, move, and have our being from this unending reservoir of love. Therefore, we are the power of love. That, dear ones, is our truth. From that place we claim wholeness, freedom, and peace for our lives. And we hold the high watch for peace and harmony in the world. We see the world not as it is, but as we know it can be. By faith, we hold the world in the light of peace that is possible. We take a moment now to silently add our individual prayers. We go forward now, knowing the light of God shines on our paths, and we are grateful. So it is. Amen. Please say our statement of faith together. There is only one power and one presence in my life and in the universe, God the good, omniscient, omnipresent, and omniscience. Our core values. Unity of Port St. Lucie encourages diversity and embraces harmonious and creative pursuits of truth, knowledge, in a safe environment to achieve balance and wholeness in the world. Please join us. Today, the daily word will be read by Monica Anderson.
Good morning. It's inner peace. I call upon the infinite peace of God within. I find peace in the beauty around me. A clear day, flowers swinging in the breeze, a gently flowing stream, a gentle flowing stream, all reveal the presence of God and reflect my inner nature. Lasting peace resides within my mind and heart. If that peace is temporarily disturbed, if I am feeling out of sort about my life or the situation of a dear one, I draw upon my strength and stability by turning away from outer circumstances and going within. I quiet the chatter of my mind, perhaps thinking of one of my peaceful places, imagining the breeze caressing my face and hearing the trickling stream. In this quiet state, I connect with my source and begin to feel a settling calmness. I consider my life from this higher perspective and remain centered and serene no matter what is happening in my life or in the world. John 20:26, peace be with you. Please join me in the affirmation. I call upon the infinite peace of God within. So it is.
As we prepare for meditation, let us sing. Surely let us take a moment, friends, and prepare ourselves to sit in the silence together. A long-held tradition in unity churches all around the world, sitting in the silence. We relax first and foremost, wherever we are. Whatever we're sitting on, we allow that instrument to support our bodies completely. We let go of the need to hold on to anything. We let go. Let the chair or the sofa or the floor support us completely. We begin to pay attention to our breath. We simply notice it. Simply notice it. Notice as it comes in the coolness of it. Consider and contemplate the idea that this is the breath of life flowing automatically into our body temples, immediately moving throughout, cleansing and purifying, healing, restoring, and feeding,
oxygenating the breath of life. Be aware. Center ourselves in our heart space, the inner sanctuary of prayer, that secret place our master teacher referred to, that secret place inside of us where we go to commune with our source, our one, our all. We breathe into that area. And we become still, calm, relaxed, aware of our oneness with Source. And we reside there for a few moments together in the silence. And now very slowly, very, very gently, begin to return your attention to the outer world. Your body temple, the instrument that supports you, the sounds around you, the air in the room. Gently, gently return and come together as a spiritual community and celebrate in song the strongest energy we know, the one that binds us all. Good morning. I'm just taking it all in because some of you weren't here last time I looked. So I'm looking to, see all of you. Good to see all of you. Good to be back. Something has changed, among other things. This, whoever did this, thank you. Thank you, thank you. This is who? Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. And the vase is magnificent. And notice how I coordinate. And I didn't even know it. Woo! Good to see all of you again. It's wonderful to be back here with you. I spent a little time with Sherry this morning when I walked in, and quite a bit of time, actually. And she brought me up to date and told me about some of the things that are going on and coming up, and I could not be happier. I could not be happier. It's a whole lot of excitement, a whole lot of enthusiasm, lots of wonderful things coming up, and I am, touches my heart. I am so happy for you. I won't see you in May. I was booked to come back next Sunday, and I decided that coming down 2 weekends in a row was more than I was willing to do. It had nothing to do with you, but it's a lot. So we changed the schedule around, so I'll see you again in June, but you'll be in my heart. I'm going to travel up north a little bit in May to see some family members. I haven't been back to Pennsylvania for several years, actually, so I'm looking forward to going back up and seeing some family members and some friends. Good morning, baby brother, and Miss Norma, and maybe Miss Linda, and some of you I know that tuned in this morning to hear me talk. My baby brother recently moved to Oklahoma, and last night was his first brush with a tornado. Their property was spared, and they're fine. They had to go somewhere else to sleep because they were in the direct path, but they're all good. So prayers out to all of those who were frightened by it, and certainly all of those who were touched by it and the tornadoes in the days before and those yet to come. We lift them up in prayer. So the talk today is called Time to Update Our Tools. And it was funny because when I thought about this, my first reaction was, no, I can't give that talk because I've talked about our toolkit before. And then I was like, yeah, but it's a good idea to look at it with fresh eyes. Fresh eyes. You know, everybody has tools. We all have tools. I don't care who you are or what you do. We have tools. We use tools to eat, for heaven's sakes. We use tools to write. We use tools for everything. And on our spiritual journey, it's no different. We have tools that we use. And one of the things I love about unity is this idea that we have tools and we practice how to use them and we constantly update them and renew them and look at them and reevaluate them. That's foundational to unity. It is one of the 5 principles. It's not enough, friends, to come to church on Sunday and then the next Sunday and then the Sunday after that. Not enough. In unity, we say you need to learn about the tools that you have to live the Christ life, and then you need to apply them. So unity is all about teaching, always has been, always will be. So it's time for us to check out that tool belt. It's time to update. I don't know about the rest of you, but it drives me crazy when I get those little messages saying my phone, my iPad, my laptop are about to update. And sometimes at the worst possible time, right? So it's time to update in a good way. We're excited about it. Update our tools. We want to stay current. We want to stay relevant. We don't want to become stagnant. So easy to do. You know, I attend services sometimes where they say the Lord's Prayer, and I swear they've been saying it for 4 and 5 and 6 decades, and I don't even think they're aware of the words. Stagnant. Beg your pardon, friends who say the Lord's Prayer. Boy, am I in trouble now. There are reasons to do it beyond what I've just mentioned that have become obvious to me very recently. Many of you know I do a Monday morning meditation group, and then the members of that group are expanding, and we have some new people on board, and some of them are astrologers. Now, I don't know a lot about astrology, but I've always been fascinated by it. I just don't happen to know much about it. And recently, several of them shared with me the fact that we're about to enter into a new age astrologically. Guess what it is? The age of Aquarius. Woo! Yeah, sister, I'm saying. My favorite age. Woo! It's about time we re-enter the age of Aquarius, isn't it, friends? By God. Nope. Yep, pun intended. So, you know, what happens astrologically, energetically, as universally, planetarily, we're about to enter a new age. There's a whole lot of shaking going on. There's a whole lot of movement. There's a whole lot of chaos. A lot of chaos. And my astrology friends tell me it's going to continue to increase the level of chaos until shortly after the election in our country. And then we're going to experience a rapid shift, and it's going to be visible. It might be a lot noisier in the weeks and months to come, but we're headed for something beautiful, beautiful, magnificent, and we're all a part of that. You see? Being aware of it, knowing about it, means that we are every bit a part of it and partly responsible for it. So let's manage it. We learned. We lived through Age Aquarius the last one. I don't know if it was number 1, but the last one. We're ready to take this one on, to bring this one on in for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and all the world. We're ready, right? Can I hear a "we're ready"? Another good reason to look at the tools we're using, friends, and update them. There's a lot of angst out there, and I don't want to hang my hat on this. I don't want to stress it. I don't want to overdo it, but I just want you to, most of you know I work at Silent Unity, and we receive well over 1 million prayer request calls a year, and overwhelmingly, I'm hearing people refer to how they're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling tired. They're feeling depressed. These words, spiritual warfare, keep coming up. The first time I heard it, it took my breath away. I never heard of such a thing, but I get it. I get it. People are feeling that, like there's a war going on for them spiritually and every other way. We don't wage war. Unity, we're not the only ones, thank God, but we don't wage war. No, we propagate peace. That's what we do. It's time, friends, to evaluate our toolkit. What's in it? Take a look at what's in it. Is it good enough? Does it still work for you? Are you using it? I have some suggestions I'm bringing to you today of ways that you can update. If you have a camera and you're capable of taking a picture, you might want to snap some of these links or jot them down in your notes or on your phone. If you need to, some of you will, just knowing about it, will be able to find it. You can actually go to this website, which is part of the voluminous number of resources that Unity has for people, increasing, by the way, exponentially as the days go on, the number of resources that Unity is making available in new and exciting ways for the new Aquarians among us. This particular one will take you to a list of affirmations. Now, those of you who are old school and still get the paper daily word, I do, all right? I love my paper daily word. If you look on the inside of the cover a few pages in, you'll find, well, one page in, you'll find a list of affirmations right there. I frequently scan them and share them with callers at Silent Unity who are calling for prayer. So I leave them with an affirmation to take with them. We all do, not just I. This is one place to get them. You can go online and find even more. So what you want to do is find one that resonates with you, or two that really moves you, that works for you, and use it as a mantra. You repeat it over and over and over again like a prayer. So that's one thing to do. I don't know if many of you, if all of you remember Maria Shriver. I certainly do. Always admired this woman's work. Check out her website. I think you'll be fascinated to see what she's up to these days. I have a dear friend, non-Unity person, who sent me a link to this. Maria Shriver publishes a Sunday newspaper every Sunday, available online, that is full of inspiration, education, motivation, information. All of it feeds my soul. There are so many resources there that are timely, that are current, that are relevant, about people out there doing the kinds of things that you and I love to know about. Check out her Sunday newspaper for all kinds of reinforcement. That's a powerful tool. The Daily Word, I've already mentioned it. I don't know. I would be fine, I guess, without my daily word, but I don't want to know, because I've come to depend on it, rely on it. It is just an important part of my toolkit. Important part of my toolkit. And you don't have to get the paper. There's the link to it online. You can view it there. You can look at it on your phone, your iPad, your laptop. Unity has an app called B, capital B-E, Unity, capital U-N-I-T-Y, B Unity. You can download it onto your phone, and you can access the Daily Word every day, and other things as well. There's so many ways to plug into that daily inspiration. If you're not using it, I encourage, and share it with others. You know, it's a wonderful gift at Christmas time. I do not know, I cannot tell you how many times over the years that I've gone online and ordered a subscription for someone I love as a Christmas present. She just bought 4. It makes a wonderful gift. People who have nothing to do with Unity, people who don't even go to church. Doesn't matter. You know, they love the daily word once they have access to it. Because the passages are short, they're very understandable, and almost always touch your heart. They don't knock it out of the park every time, but who does? Another one I discovered, again, a Unity resource. You can go to that website and listen to meditations. And they're always adding to that and updating them and improving the audio and the voices of those people providing the meditation. And again, on your phone, on your laptop, your iPad, wherever. Your smart TV, for heaven's sakes. Find a group. Find a book study. Find a seminar, find a workshop. I think during COVID, we got out of practice a little bit with seminars and workshops and book studies and classes. But people are starting to ramp it back up. They're becoming increasingly available for people to participate in the flesh, physically. I'm starting my next book study, and I haven't determined when. Soon, if you're interested, email me at that email address. One of my favorite teachers, favorite teachers of all times is the woman who wrote that book, Dr. Maria Namath, Mastering Life's Energies. It's as relevant and important today as it was the day she wrote it. It is full of practical exercises and fun activities for you to do to learn more about who you really are. Who you really are, not what you do. So if you're interested, let me know. And if you're interested and you don't want to do it online, because mine is all online, if that doesn't appeal to you, start one. Get a group of people together. Buy the book. Hang out in your home and read it together and study it. Hanging out with like-minded people is a tool, friends. It's a tool that helps us stay where we want to be. You have another one starting up here, right here, I understand. I talked to Joe yesterday or the day before. Sherry sent me the flyer with the moment that it came out, and I was so excited for you. So I want to share it. Third Monday of every month, right here on a Saturday. No, Monday. I said Monday, yeah. I think there's food involved, isn't there? She said there was going to be. That always appeals to people. Light. It's not dinner. Little food. Come on and hang out. You don't know what the topic's going to be, but you get to come and participate in an exchange, a discussion with like-minded people. John, do you still do your group? Okay. I didn't think so, but I wanted to check. I found this one all by myself. I hung out online one day, and I took some time to see what was out there. What's out there? What are people looking at? And I found this. And I'll tell you what, this is an exciting little website. It's very current. It's very relevant. It is put together by really young folk. And the links to all kinds of amazing things. It's beautiful. It's fun to look at. And I checked it out pretty carefully. Their ideas are completely aligned with yours, I promise. So check it out. I don't know them. Maybe I'll get a check just for mentioning them. I'm not looking for it. Just fun. Here's another one. Some of you know about this. Many of you do not. There is a Unity minister by the name of Mark Hicks who has devoted his entire life, his entire career as a minister, to collecting all of the rich books and pamphlets and talks and seminars and ideas that have been generated by truth students since the beginning of Unity, and put them together in one archival website. You can go to that website and put in a word. Let's say you're interested to know what Unity thinks about Lent. So you put the word Lent in, and just like that, you will receive a link to an incredible number of audio talks and videos and articles, all kinds of things that are Unity, all Unity. It is a remarkably wonderful website. I've watched it over the years. Since the day he started it till now, I've watched it grow and improve and continue to improve. It is, friends, simply amazing. Know about it. Use it. Share the information with others. I mentioned hanging out with like-minded people. I don't know if you can see Mahatma Gandhi's name underneath that quote. But I couldn't agree more. A small group of determined and like-minded people can change the course of history. That's what you do when you hang out with like-minded people. Practice the silence. When is the last time that you sat in a room in your home without any radio, any television, any whatever, any distraction at all? Just sat. Just sat. The silence. You know, there's an extreme example of it that I want to share, and this is not what I'm suggesting that we do at all, but there was once a remote monastery deep, deep, deep in the woods. And the monks that lived there practiced a very rigid vow of silence. The vow could only be broken once a year on Christmas, once a year by one monk. Once a year, one monk. And the monk could only speak one sentence. That was the rule. Very rigid. So one Christmas, Brother Thomas had his turn, they took turns, had his turn to speak. And he said, "I love the delightful mashed potatoes we have every year with our Christmas roast." Yeah, I don't know what I would say if I had one sentence once a year. Then he sat down. And there was silence for the next 365 days. That's it. 365 days of silence. The next Christmas, Brother Michael got his turn. And he said, "I think the mashed potatoes are lumpy." And then he sat down. And there was silence for another 365 days. The following Christmas, Brother Paul rose up and he said, "I am so fed up with this constant bickering." Yeah, we don't practice the silence to that level. I had an occasion the other day. This is just an everyday example, just an everyday example. True for me, true for all of you as well. And I share these things because then I think you become more mindful maybe and you look for these things in your own life. But I decided to sit down in my favorite chair. And everything was already turned off, and it was a beautiful day, and I look out on a pond, so I simply sat there and started to look out, and just like that, a divine idea came through my head about something that I'd been thinking about earlier. It was an answer. I find so many gifts in the silence, I can't tell you. You don't have to do fancy meditation, friends. You don't have to cross your legs if you can and get down on the floor if you can. You don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about how to do it, when to do it, how often to do it, how long to do it. Let it all go. Let it all go. Just get silent. Just get silent. It is golden. It absolutely is golden. And to my money, one of the strongest tools that we have. And of course, why do it? Well, ultimately, if you think about it, friends, it leads to inner stillness. It leads to, as I did with us in the meditation this morning, as the daily word referenced this morning, it leads to what we all strive for, inner stillness. Inner stillness, someone said, is the key to outer strength. And boy, is that the truth. When I become quiet and sit in the silence, I come out stronger spiritually, more powerful, stronger, more centered, more focused, clearer. And you will too. You already are. Someone said online, I was reading some of what other people had to say about the silence, and someone said it's the backbone of resilience. And it is, friends, is it not? It allows you that kind of strength, that spiritual strength that you hone when you sit in the silence, allows you to be more resilient, like a cat-o'-nine tail blowing in the wind. I don't know what that was, but it's okay. We're not in Tornado Alley. It's all good. It also, sitting in the silence, helps us rebound from challenges, recover from angst. When people call silent unity, as you can well imagine, most of the time, they're in distress about something. They're worrying, they're hurting, they're crying, they're whatever, they're frightened, they're in pain, most of the time when they call for prayer. And if for just a moment, the average call is 4 minutes, if for just a moment, just for 2 minutes, we, the prayer associates, can redirect people to turn within and become still, silent, calm, at least for a short period of time, they tell us that their life has changed. That's how powerful inner peace is. I read online from Psychology Today an article that appeared just this January in their magazine. This is an excerpt from it. I thought this was interesting. The author said inner peace is a low arousal, positive emotional state coupled with a sense of balance or stability. Well, that makes sense if you think about it. If you have to define inner peace, that's a good one. Low arousal, positive states are calm and relaxed, happy feelings that aren't extreme or exciting. Now, that part's important. If you're having an extreme emotional high, that's not inner peace. You see the difference? Because that thing's fleeting right there. Because when you go up here, where the only place to go is where? Yeah, down. Yeah, so we don't want that. Inner peace includes feelings of calmness, serenity, tranquility, contentment, in contrast to feelings like exuberance, ecstasy, or euphoria. Low arousal, positive feelings come from within. Those other highly ecstatic reactions are coming from something without. Within is where the power is, always. All the tools that we use ultimately, every one of them is guiding us to that place of inner peace, are they not? I think so, if you think about it. Ultimately, they're all taking us to that same place. And of course, the last spiritual tool that I want to touch on, my favorite, is prayer. The fastest known accelerant. The fastest known accelerant. You know what an accelerant is. It's something that speeds up a process. If you want to speed up the process of achieving inner peace, you go to prayer. Affirmative prayer is what we use in unity. Affirmative prayer. We focus on a positive outcome. We focus on a positive outcome. So let's practice right now. Let's pray. I invite you, if you're comfortable to do so, to close your eyes, because you turn away any distraction in the outer and just ignore the sounds. Don't resist them. Just be aware. Just be aware. And turn within and center yourself in your heart space, where we go to pray, and breathe into that inner sanctuary of prayer. Breathe into it and begin to experience the peaceful, powerful, loving presence of God. Claim and express the light and the love of God, and shine it. Shine it on anyone who comes to mind right now, anyone who comes to mind that you want to lift up and bless in prayer. Any region, any leader, any country, anyone who comes to mind, shine the light and the love of God on them now, right now. See them filled and surrounded with the light and the love of God. If it's an area of your body, shine the light and the love of God on that area. Shine the light and love of God on that area. See it surrounded, filled with the light and the love of God. So it is. Amen. Prayer. Friends, prayer. Check out your spiritual toolkit, friends. And dust off the tools, update them, renew them, use what works for you, and eliminate all the others. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, little instruction. I'm to click a little further because there's a chorus we're all going to sing. Okay?
We're not getting political, but this song was written during one of those election years. And it's about using your tools. Choices we all have to make every day. So when you feel the chorus, you can sing along. If you don't feel it, sit there, nod your head as if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, Linda wrote it. If you enjoy it, I wrote it. I have made my choice. Change begins with me. We all have a voice, and I have made my choice. Time for spiritual growth.
right, if you'll please take out your offerings and hold them in your hands. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. Today's prayer chaplain is Johnny Williams. Johnny here? Okay, Marvia is going to be the prayer chaplain today if you need a prayer. On Mondays, we have yoga with Lana. The prayer circle is Tuesday mornings from 11 to 11:30. Need some Reiki? See Sherry. I don't even want to. Okay, the parking cones. Well, there was a man on a cart. I think if he sees you trying to park, I think he'll run out and get it for you.
I'll make an announcement about the cones. Yeah. I would like our church to use unity aggressiveness, not so much Jeff aggressiveness as some of you have seen. I'd like to say that we ignore the finger telling us where to park. And I don't want to have to bring out my other special big giant finger that I have. We've been parking for years over here. We have an older congregation than the kids over there. And the babies need to get out of our way and let our adult people park where we need to park. So I say we ignore that finger and go and park, as some of you have already done, because you know I ignore that finger. And I've given them a few words in past weeks and this week. I will continue, but I will be as Christian as I can be. And that's all I have to say about the cones. And there is choir rehearsal next Tuesday at 6. There will be no cones. This Tuesday, that's what I said. This Tuesday, that's what I said. Oh, there's that aggressiveness, sorry.
So a single cone is a parking space, a double cone is not a parking space. Okay.
A parking space is a parking space.
Well, the
Single,
double cones
double,
are
triple.
walkways, right?
Okay, no, she's right. The double cones you'll find in front of the doors to Expansion Church, both doors. Okay, and I'm sorry, guys, I agree with that. They have a lot of little kids. I don't want little kids. I don't want cars, big giant cars pulling up where little kids are going in and out. That one I agree with. And I might want to say I actually agree with Jeff about this today. Ignore the fingers and go over here. And if they try to stop you, roll down the window and say unity. That's what they're doing. They're saving those spaces for us. Okay? So first of all, get that. Those cones are to help us park. They're not to make our lives more miserable. Just ignore them. Go right in. Okay? I mean, those of us like me, I always park in the back because right now I can still walk. Okay? I mean, maybe someday I'll need to be parking right by the door, but not yet. So if you can, please park over in the back just for everybody's well-being. And if you need to park closer, by all means, park closer. Yeah, that's it. That's the last thing I'm going to say about this publicly. That slide will be up for a little bit. If you hear somebody who's not here today and hasn't heard this, please communicate that to them. I don't want to belabor a point of contention. All right. There, and I agree with you, Jeff Shepard, on this. Ooh. Better write this down. It's April 28th, 2024. He and I sometimes have differences of opinion. Okay, I have to say, thank you, Reverend Linda. Oh my God, we are so blessed. She is, as you guys all know, she is so much part of the DNA of this church, and the fact that you keep coming, oh God. And yeah, and by the way, the only complaint I have is, oh my God, I put out the guest speakers back there, and when is she coming? Is she coming? When's Reverend Linda gonna be here? So yeah, and she is signed up for third quarter. So you'll see her again, what we decide in June, but she'll be here through September, I know, because we're scheduled through September. Okay, so we're so blessed. And although I try not to abuse it, you know she's there for us, for advice, for consultation. I mean, I always know she's one of our guardian angels also, okay? I want to say, I see 3 of you here. Monica, Bob, and Judy are here, and there's probably others. I just want to say safe travels to our snowbirds. Some have gone, some of you are still leaving. We will miss you, and we look forward to your safe travels and to your being back with us when you get back in the fall. Parking, thank God we talked about. Okay, now we do have a crisis coming up next week. It's Hospitality Week, and Eve Tonka is out of town. So, and she, unfortunately for you, has left the hospitality in my hands. So, no, actually, Dottie's going to help out, and if anybody could maybe come a little early next Saturday to help set up, Sunday, Saturday. We can have hospitality Saturday. Sunday, please let Dottie or me know. And if you're planning on staying, I know Eve has probably arranged for food, but if anybody else would like to bring something, because good news, several of you have indicated, you'd like to have a chance to just spend some time with our youth, because they're busy, you're busy, and then everybody leaves, and they'd like to get to know. So I've checked with Mr. Paul. They're going to stay for hospitality. And it's only half an hour, 45 minutes. And that way you can just hang out with them, learn their names, they can learn yours, all that kind of stuff. So that's exciting. We're looking forward to that. They don't all seem to be looking forward to it, but we are. And the other thing is, although I promised it for April, I got it together for May. We'll do a movie after we eat, if you want to stay. And I found a classic. It's wonderful. It's The 12 Powers. And it's recently done. Carmen has actually seen it and said it's wonderful. And it's one of the stars in it is James Twyman, one of the major peace ambassadors of the world. So I'm looking forward to 88 minutes. So the movies, all these kind of movies are roughly 90 minutes. Okay. That's next Sunday, after hospitality. Oh, and the other thing is, Mr. Paul and I are going to get together for another way that you could spend some time with our youth and get to know them a little bit is we sometimes play trivia. So we just got to find a date. We're going to have trivia here probably Sunday afternoon, and you guys can all come and play trivia with us. Won't be right after church probably. Anyway, I'll give you the details later. Never mind. This is a point where I should say that I'm sure many of my friends here in this room would wish I would take Reverend Linda's advice and practice more silence. The growl and barks you've heard are my new dog. No, it's not really, but he's a doll. Tiki, he's a service dog in training. So if you see him, ask Richard what we should do. I don't know if we really should be petting him or not, but he is a service dog in training. Okay, now my last thing. All right, a lot of you remember Linda Martella-Whitsitt, many of you. She was here, how long ago now, 2 years? Probably, at least, maybe 3. But anyway, she was here. Her latest book is Discover Your Divinity. Okay, now I have a copy of it, and all you bibliophiles in the group that only means I purchased it. It doesn't mean I've read it yet. But, and she also has a study guide that goes with it. She is available and could come here to be our guest speaker and do a workshop based a lot on this in the fall sometime. What I need to know in order, first of all, if you would be interested in us doing that, and that's going to mean that I need about 15 of you who would be willing, I know you can't commit right now, but who would be interested in a workshop, which would cost about $25. Okay, so how many of you, raise hands, big, high, I need to count. If you're coming for that, huh? Oh yeah, you know her, 6, 7. Okay, we got enough. Okay, I will book that. It'll be September, October. What? No, we can't because she's going to speak. I'm sorry. There's so many exciting things happening here. It's just been a wonderful day for me. I've seen faces I haven't seen. Just thank you. Uh-oh. Oh, well, we'll start that next week. Oh, yeah, we're going to do the 60-40 split raffle again. We were supposed to do it in March, and we forgot. And then we were supposed to do it in April, and we forgot. But we have pledged to do this in May. Yes, ma'am.
I came a little bit late this morning, I'm sorry, but I didn't know if anybody mentioned our Reverend Nancy Norman
Oh,
had surgery for a stent, a heart stent.
yeah.
I think it was Wednesday.
Is she out? Do you know she was going to come home yesterday or today? I know.
She was to come out of the hospital yesterday.
Okay,
Janet, who
right. Sits right up here by her. You all know Janet. Yeah. Yes, and we sent it out to the prayer chaplains because she let me know. Yes, we sent out to our prayer warriors, so we do know. And she sounded great, and in true Reverend Nancy was writing me about this and giving me pictures of this, and she's doing this. So she was feeling well. She checked right away. She's scheduled for 2 Sundays here to speak in May, and she knew that right away. Oh, no, she won't need that much recovery. She can do her talk. So she sounds good, and she's, but hold her in prayer. Now I'll go be silent.
We'd like to thank everybody for coming and making this such a beautiful spiritual community, and everyone that helps. And I don't know if you realize how many people really help out here every week. Carmen takes care of some food for the boys, and Jeff and Linda and John and Sherry and Linda and me and the prayer chaplains and the people who volunteer to greet, which is Ellie's the coordinator for greeters, if you ever like to be a greeter. And when you're a greeter, you do the collection and the prayer box, and you can read the daily word. Who does that now? Marvia? Marvia is in charge of the daily word. So if you'd like to participate in any of the activities that we take volunteers for, please see Sherry if you don't know which person it is. Thank you all. That's me. It says, zip it, silence.